Hey folks, Steve here with a very special video for you today. This is going to be a look ahead to Game On, the wargaming convention. Well, board gaming, but has a high focus on wargaming convention that occurs out here in the Seattle area um, every February. And I've been going to this convention for many years now. I'm not exactly sure. It's not quite 10 years. It's something like 8 years or something like that. But this is a convention I've been going to for several years now. It's changed venues, but it has always had a really solid group of people running that convention. It has a capped attendance, so you tend to get to know the people who go every year as well. And it is all around a really great time. Now, last year I had done plenty of coverage, and maybe even the year before, of Game On coverage while there, game reports, and all of that goodness. And I expect to do the same this year, but we've got some constraints a little bit. So the whole family's heading out. My wife will be playing a number of games. She will be playing Here I Stand. She will be playing Virgin Queen. She'll be playing Fire in the Lake, and maybe one other thing that I'm forgetting. So she has got a really solid schedule of games to play, games that she's pretty good at. I'd say she's quite good at Here I Stand. Virgin Queen's a little tougher because we don't play Virgin Queen as much as Here I Stand. Of course, I haven't played Here I Stand in a long time either, to be quite honest, because my convention play has lately really been, on the last couple of years, more on the big hex and counter game side of things. But for sure, um, I've played plenty of Here I Stand, Virgin Queen, and all of that. And so she's getting to play those games a little bit later in the week, while my gaming days are in the sort of first chunk or first, maybe a little less than half of the convention. And rather than playing a wide variety of games for shorter durations, I'm really concentrated on just a couple of games. And I have the two main games that I'll be playing at the convention this year here on the table in front of me. If you've been watching the channel recently, you know that I've done, finally, some coverage, direct coverage, of the Battalion Combat series. And I did that with Arquebus, which is one of the more recent titles. The title that had come out right before AeroCorps was Panzer's Last Stand, and technically speaking, this was the first BCS game that I ever played. I played it in a convention, that same convention, Game On, uh, a previous year. We got to play Panzer's Last Stand, and to be honest, I'm sure we didn't play it right. Like, now that I feel very well versed in the rules after playing AeroCorps, I am certain we probably didn't play a few things right last year. But a slightly different set of people are playing Panzer's Last Stand this year, and I am signed up for at least a couple of days. The plan is for those folks playing to play the campaign game across multiple days. Unfortunately for me, I'm really only going to be able to play the first 2 days of the convention. So I'm going to miss out on the later half of the campaign. So my plan is play and enjoy as much of this as I can those first couple of days of the campaign, of the convention, and do what reporting I can on how that playthrough is going. And then over the course of the rest of the convention, that I'm not going to be able to be playing games quite as much. I still hope to peek in at the progress of the campaign and do some sort of third person reporting on how things are developing. Panzer's Last Stand is certainly one of the bigger games in the BCS system, and the full campaign uses all the maps, which is more than what we did last year. We really, I think we used what is considered the more northern maps, where there's a lot more terrain to worry about, but there's a huge amount of flat terrain on the southern portion of the full map, that I didn't really get to see much of when we got to playing that. And it even took me a little while before I bought my own copy of Panzer's Last Stand. Now, just to kind of show off a couple bits of this, I've got, let's see, what do I even have in here? Yes. So I'm not sure I'm taking these because somebody may have their own, like, this is how many different formations there are in Panzer's Last Stand for just the Germans. Um, that's a lot. I mean, I'm not going to count them right now, but that is a lot. That's a, each formation, understanding that each formation has several units. It's a big game. So as I look ahead to playing the campaign, I'm going to have to watch out because I've enjoyed a much more abbreviated, smaller scale scenario in the form of AeroCore, where this is going to be just much bigger. It has its own series rule or game specific rules that I do need to try my best to read up on and confirm. And I have not punched my copy, so we can at least get a nice preview of things. So this is not really an unboxing video, but just to show. I forget what these X units are meant to represent, but you can see there's a lot of different formations. The units, are varied here. These are much smaller counters than AeroCore as well, so we're dealing with a much more detailed amount of terrain and number of units. And even as I'm looking at the different unit types, I see where, like I don't see even on this page right now a lot of. Oh no, here we go. Here's some mechanized infantry. So the Germans are at least going to have some of that capability here. That'll be really important in BCS. These guys can be quite potent because of that tactical movement. But that's just a snippet. So there's more units here, even more Russians here. Just a lot to look at, a lot to deal with. And I think some of these counters are actually additions to other games in the series. So, but still, it's a lot of units, and then a lot of these BCS markers that really are a little finicky to deal with. I don't think even in my copy I could stand around every corner. And then the maps, which is really what I'm trying to get to here. There's a lot in this game. I don't think I'm going to get everything out here. This is a big game, guys. It is really big. It's going to take some getting used to the switch to this bigger game from AeroCore, but the fundamentals of the system, I feel pretty well versed in and should be able to operate fairly well with this. So I'm excited to see a different part of the campaign, of the maps in Panzer's Last Stand. The BCS system is excellent. I've really enjoyed my time playing it. I'm going to get to enjoy this in the very near future here in just a couple weeks. Or actually this coming week, I should say. It's coming up faster than I can imagine. And getting to do this yet again. This is Battles for Budapest 1945. Yeah, it's going to be a hoot. This kind of show. This is what we're going to be dealing with. Yeah, this was the map that we had played last year. And in this game in total, there's 4 22 by 34 maps. So yeah, this can be quite a very, very large game. I'm trying to think what we played last year. I think it was one of the Conrad scenarios. I can't remember now. But yeah, so that's going to be a big chunk of my gaming. It's going to be the mornings and afternoon into the early evening each day. So we're still looking at, it's going to be maybe something like 16 hours or more worth of BCS those first couple of days. Should make for some interesting things. And what's really good is that I would think my commentary is going to be much more comprehensive than last year's. I think I understand the system so much better now, having really played it, really absorbed the rules, really understood the way things work, that I'm going to have a much better sense of how the game should be being played, what should the units be doing, how should they be succeeding at their goals, and being able to talk to it much more. So just really looking forward to enjoying Panzer's Last Stand. At some point, I'll punch my own copy and we'll do some stuff there. And then at night, or we'll say I don't know, I guess the later part of the evening at night, staying up late, we're going to be playing Arquebus, a friend of mine and I. This is an entry in the Men of Iron series. This is volume 4. It does introduce, while Men of Iron tends to be more medieval and like men at arms and knights oriented, or maybe sometimes pikes. I don't know. Here is actually, with the title Arquebus, so the introduction of some firearms into the system, and just getting us towards that transition point to going to musket and pike. Um, right prior to that, basically covering the battles for northern Italy, 1495 to 1544. I have played this before with the same friend that I'll be playing this with again. So he and I have played Arquebus together before. We had played. If I look at the back of the box on this one, where do they have the battle list? We had played. Let's see. I want to say we played Serignola and maybe Carousel. Carousel. I'm not sure how that's pronounced. Two of the smaller battles is what we tried last time, and what we're going to be playing this time at the convention across 2 nights. We're giving ourselves 2 nights or 2 blocks of a couple hours. Hopefully that would be enough, because expecting 5 hours ish for this battle is the Battle of Pavia or Pavia. I'm not sure the most appropriate way to pronounce that. Um, it's the biggest battle in the box, and this is the map that's used for it right here. You can see, so it's a whole full map. The other scenarios are either sometimes half maps or even less than that. So we played much smaller battles in this system, but we'll be playing the big show of Pavia um, at night. So, and the same friend is actually playing Panzer's Last Stand. So, he and I will be gaming a lot. Here we'll be doing Arquebus once more, and we'll see how it goes. I mean, I think the Men of Iron series is fun. I think Arquebus has been enjoyable in the times that we've played it previously, so this will just be an opportunity to put it through its paces. Now, unfortunately for me, I've not really had as much time to refamiliarize myself with the rules. I wanted to focus on getting BCS right, because BCS is complex in many ways, or it's very nuanced. The rules for this aren't terribly complicated. I did reread the rules. I'm going to have to watch myself as we go play to make sure I don't make too many errors. But it will be fun to get this back onto the table as well. I really need to get to playing some of the other Men of Iron games in the tri-pack, and we now have Norman Conquests, which is the latest game in that series that has come out recently. So certainly Men of Iron, a very fun system. I need to get more variety than just Arquebus. And what's funny is Arquebus is the odd game out in the series of being, a very particular niche with the gunplay here, the guns, as opposed to different different weapon systems in the other games in the series. A bit of an oddity there, but I should be able to do some decent reporting of the progress of the Battle of Pavia over those couple of days of the convention. And then I hope over those other days when I'm done actively playing games, I'll be busy, doing family stuff. I hope to still check in, show how the Panzer's Last Stand campaign is going, maybe check in on a few other things with people, and it should be a really good convention, like it always is. Have always had a good time at this convention. My wife enjoys it as well. It's just a really great time to get away from it all and play some games and enjoy. So, yeah, there you go, folks. Something to look forward to. The convention begins this week, in the middle of this coming week. So, in a few days, you'll start to see that coverage. Folks like Justigard are likely to also be at the convention. I'm not 100% sure he'll be there. I assume he's going to be there. So he'll probably be doing some coverage as well. So if you're interested in seeing that, please make sure to go check out Justigard's channel. That's, oh boy, how's it spelled? JustegardE, something like that. That's Justin Fassino. He's the designer of the coming game Seljuk from GMT. So check out his channel if you haven't already. He and I have gamed a number of times together. He's a really good person to play games with and to learn from. So check his channel out and be sure to watch out for his Game On coverage, which I'm sure is coming, assuming he's at the convention this year. So, anyway, that's it, folks. Just a little bit of a preamble over what's to come later in the week. It should be a really great time, and upon my return from the convention, we can start looking at Axis Empires Ultimate Edition. That's sort of the next thing on my list to do. I still have many other games that I would like to get to the table very soon. I do want to play some Axis Empires to kind of get myself situated in that game system and see how I feel about it actually playing it beyond just enjoying the game for its components, which are quite good, and just so much more, guys. So much good stuff to come, and this year to come. So anyway, that's it for this video. Take care. Keep on gaming, guys. See you in the next one.